Hi. I don't want to delay too much. I can just get started with you, and then everyone else will just join afterwards.
Okay.
So for this particular circle, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted us to just, instead of our usual gathering of talking, which is great, I wanted us to try to watch something together.
Okay.
I picked a couple of web series that I found that I thought were a little bit thought-provoking, 15 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the two of them. And after those two are completed, I'll do a little Q&A. And, we'll just take it from there. Hi, Emmy.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. Is she still on?
Hello. Hi,
yes.
hi, everyone.
Hi. Okay, so we're just going to get started. I hope you guys got your little popcorn. You're fine, because I'm ready. All right.
You're ready. I apologize. I have to be off camera because my son is busy doing a few things.
No, it's okay. It's okay. However you feel comfortable, as long as you're enjoying it.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to get started. The first one is called Her First Time. And it's a little interesting. I don't want to say too much about it. I would prefer you guys just watch it and, enjoy it for yourselves. Over. How about now, guys?
Yes.
Excellent.
So you won't tell me what this is all about?
I just wanted to talk to you about what you wanted me to do tonight. What you wanted us to do.
Okay. So that was, I know that didn't end the way you were expecting it to. I would love to get your feedback on that one, but I want to fit in one more. I think I could do 3. Oh, shoot. Did I stop it? Hold on a second. One is One Good Man. It's another short series and another one that'll get you guys just kind of, wanting to chat a little bit. So let's go with One Good Man. It's a little Okay, guys. So that's how One Good Man ends. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can talk. For those who joined a little bit late into the movie, or the series, well, we watched 2. The first one we watched was, oh my God, I forgot the name already. So it shows like a video. I gave the ending. Layla, help me out.
It was the first time, right? Was the name of the movie The First Time, or Her First
Time? Right. So so the premise of the movie is a young lady is in a car with a guy, and he sounds like he's pressuring her for something. And he kind of gives her a very aggressive type of pressure. But in the end, it turned out to be that he was just trying to talk her into doing a video. Where'd you think it was going, Layla? Like when you first saw it, where'd you think it was going? The typical place, or did you kind of get a sense of that?
I thought that it was, I didn't know that it was going to be a video. Of course, you know, I thought that it was more going to be like sexual, like he was trying to kind of talk her into sexual intercourse or something like that.
Right. I know. I thought so too, because like
Where's my camera not on?
What'd you say?
I'm sorry. No, okay, I got it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good. I thought so too. To be honest with you, it was very painful to watch that the first time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because it triggered so much, and you know, it just made me feel very uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I wasn't expecting it to end there, but boy, was I relieved when it did. And I see why they did it the way that they did. You know, like it's kind of like we shouldn't really just be quick to assume that something is going to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to make it seem that like not all Black men are gonna do that. I don't know, but I was very thankful that it didn't go the next level, which would have been, you know, God forbid.
Yes.
But I liked it. I like how they built it up. It was only 5 minutes long, guys, so you really didn't miss too much, but it would have been nice to get your feedback on that. But this one, talk to me. Even if you joined late, you kind of get a sense of how it ended. So, you know, you have a woman who's married and she probably feels like her husband is not paying enough attention to her. And that's because he's working. And he's obviously a good dad, right? He's picking up his son, right? So the setup is that he's a good guy, but she needs more from him. So ultimately, she ends up leaving him, and she goes to Dubai with the cornball. I'm sorry, but like, you can't be married to this good-looking guy and then leave with the chump. He looked like a chump. The Dubai guy looked like a chump. Talk to me, guys. What do you feel? Okay, Emmy, go ahead. You can talk.
Well, just to mention, I understand what you meant and everything. So it's really funny that she left because, you know, she was unhappy and everything. But what I got out of that was, sadly enough, this is the story of many women, but the opposite way. Men who get up and leave and just think it's okay to just leave. You leave the kid, you leave your wife, and you just leave. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, and don't try to contact me. What do you mean by that? We have a child together.
Right.
Don't try to contact me. So that's what I was getting out of it. But it was interesting. I like the fact that they flipped the roles.
I like the fact that they flipped the roles too. I think it was I'm on both ends, right? I'm fencing. I felt bad for the guy, you know, like here's this guy who's finally deciding to do good, right? And you know, and I don't want to say finally, I'm not a man basher, so you're not gonna get that from me. But it's nice to see when you have a Black man who is depicted as being, you know, a good guy and not this, like, you know, whatever the other thing might be, right? But then I kind of like it when women say, F this, I'm going to Dubai with the next guy. I liked it. I just wish it was an upgrade. They didn't cast it right. I'm sorry. Like, you guys, you gotta be honest, they didn't cast it right. The guy that she left to go to Dubai with is not an upgrade. He just isn't. Am I wrong for saying that? Talk to me, please. Feel bad for saying that if nobody else agrees with me. Can I show you guys who the guy was that she went to Dubai with? He's not the upgrade. Talk to me. Anybody? Hi, Layla. You know exactly what I'm saying. The guy is all nice and ripped. He looks good. And Dubai guy looks like Trump.
Well, I was gonna say sometimes, even though a guy might not look that good, but they might be a really good guy, whereas the guy who looks good might be the guy who's treating a woman not so good and maybe out there cheating and doing other things.
Right.
So sometimes it could be also more about how that person really treats you. Like, how is he must, apparently he's given her, well, she thinks, because we just saw a little piece of it, and she could think that this guy is really giving her what she's looking for. She's missing something that she's not getting from her husband, but instead of communicating that, we didn't see the whole thing, but it didn't appear that she communicated it to him. And meanwhile, her husband's probably thinking that he's taking care of his family, he's working, he's taking care of the son, and this happens. So
yeah. I agree. And I'm stirring the pot, guys.
I know.
He's not, yeah. I'm not a bad person. I'm not gonna talk ish about somebody and their looks. But like to me, I felt like I was a little bit confused with, the guy that she was kind of sneaking around with. I thought he would have kind of just, I don't know, gave.
But he doesn't seem like. So to what you're saying about him being a chump. So if he thinks that that's okay to like take this woman from her husband,
right
then and there, is he really going to take her seriously at the end of the day? Because what is he going to think of her?
Right.
If it's just something to get what he wants. He's whining and dining her. He's taking her to Dubai. What is that really going to look like at the end?
I think what's hard with relationships is that once people are in them, what I like that it was the light that was shown on it is that when you do get in a relationship, committed long-term relationship, marriage or not, you have to keep someone stimulated, okay?
Yeah.
And you have to, so like when she suggested, hey, can we go to Piedmont or whatever it was, can we go there? He said, oh, I'm tired. And oftentimes I think we become so comfortable in a relationship setting that we think we can just say, oh, I'm tired, or I'm not free this weekend, or I can't. That's really, and on the other side too, it's like, okay, so the person who's asking something should be able to understand if their partner is tired. I get it, but it's a give and take. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. It is definitely a give and take, and you have to keep both parties have to be kept stimulated. And sometimes, like you said, when we get in relationships, and I'm going to say we, because people do it in general, a lot of times you forget that you still have to, you still have to meet that person's needs. You still have to keep that honeymoon phase to go on just a little bit. I mean, even if it's just once a month doing something, but you have to keep something there.
Have to. So I really, I like what they did with that. If you don't keep my spark, somebody gonna take me to Dubai. But hey, you guys, do you want to do a third one? Can we a third one? I could find a short one, or do we want to just keep talking? I'll let you guys give me feedback. Because the next one I have is kind of short. What do you think?
I don't mind watching another one, but it depends on everyone else as well.
Yeah. So are we good, guys? Can I go to the third one? If nobody says no, then I'm just gonna go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Let's go to the third one. Let's pull that up for you guys. I like this. This is cute. This is the point where you guys can kind of like take a sip or something. If you're drinking, I'm drinking. Are we drinking? Are we popcorning? No.
I had a whole meal.
So we're gonna do the next one is toxic. You had what?
An entire meal not too long ago. So
okay, so you're good. I get it.
Yeah.
No problem. So the next one is called Toxic, guys, and this one should be interesting as well. So here we go. Let me just share my screen and get that up for you. Toxic. Okay, guys.
That I was going to church. I wasn't always this way. I wasn't always this broken girl. I knew this, and I hated myself so much for knowing this.
I love you, Zara.
And staying.
Guys, let's talk. How do you guys feel about what you just saw? I can talk, but I'd like some feedback. I could get it started if you guys want. Okay. I think we've all been Z. We might not want to admit it, but we've all been Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I kind of knew that's where it was going. You know what I mean? Because it's like, as toxic as these relationships can be, we really have a hard time breaking away from them. We have a hard time not holding on to the narrative of how it used to be. We'll hold on to that. It's like, but we had that. Like, it was tangible. You felt it, you lived it, and you just want to keep holding on to it just to recreate it. But in a lot of circumstances, that's just not recreatable, if that's even a word. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Should she have left? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Should she have left?
Yes, she should have, but I guess she just, I don't know. Yeah, she should have left.
That's how you feel, Layla?
But then again, it's like, I wonder, I mean, of course, I always kind of look a little deeper into things. Like, what was her, like, was that learned, like, her relationship? Because she said that she always saw her parents arguing, and even though the mom said, well, we're married, she still probably saw that as that's what a relationship should be like in her mom's state. I mean, I don't even know how bad the relationship was, but I don't know.
I like that you picked up on that. That's very, you're paying attention to the little details, because her mom said something that's super important too. Her mom said, but it's different. We're married. Almost as though, like, if you're married, that means you're supposed to stay, even if it's toxic, right? So how is Z supposed to know better? Because in her mind, she's trying to get to marriage, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So at no point, I guess, do you leave. You're supposed to just kind of just tough it out.
And it's funny that you said that, because that's how I was raised. Like, we were raised, like, once you're married, you don't leave. So, you know, I was in a toxic relationship with my ex-husband. And when I got divorced, I decided one day, I just woke up and I said I was leaving. I was done. And I decided that I was going to just go back to school and continue to get my degrees. And I moved out with my girls, because I didn't want them to think that this is what a relationship should be like. So I didn't tell my grandmother, because I didn't know what my grandfather was going to say. So she found out like 2 years later. She kind of heard it through the grapevine. And she was like, "Are you still with him?" And I'm like, "No." And I was very pleased that she really embraced me. She was like, "You know what? It's okay. Things happen." And I didn't think that I would get that response from her. I thought, because we were always raised that you stay in a marriage no matter what. And even before I got married, you know, my grandmother talked to me and was like, you know, you stay in a marriage, pick something that you really like about the person, because when times get rough, you know, you have to focus on that thing that you like about them. But yeah, so.
That thing that you like about them.
Yeah. So I definitely get when you're raised in that way that you know, marriage is, you're supposed to stay, but I just, yeah.
Layla, you bring up some good points, and I appreciate you being so transparent too, and sharing that you had the courage to leave. And in my culture, you don't leave. You just don't.
And that's how it was too. And he was Jamaican, and then I'm Guyanese, and
oh, there you go. Caribbean households, you don't leave, okay? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. This guy could have a whole ass family, 3 other kids, 5 different wives.
Exactly.
Because at least he comes home to you, right? At least he pays something. Like, there's always, like you said, you got to hold on to that thing, that one thing. So yeah, I really liked Toxic. I really did. I liked the depiction. I liked what they showed us, and it resonated so much with me. And I hate to say this, even though I'm giving you your props, Layla, for leaving, I'm not mad at Z for staying. I'm just not mad, because I get it. Like, of course, we're gonna be rooting her, like, oh, come on, girl, you better leave him. But would we leave?
Yeah. Especially if that's how she was raised, if that's what she was raised and taught, it's learned behavior.
Right. It's learned behavior. It's current behavior. It's what we see right now. I don't like to name drop, but like Beyonce stayed with Jay-Z, right? Yeah. No, Beyonce's not the standard. I'm not saying anything corny like that, but yes, please, you don't have to raise your hand. Go ahead, T, talk. Please do. Join the convo. Unmute, you guys. We're free. We're free.
Well, I'm out right now, so I'm multitasking.
Oh, it's okay. Talk to me.
I had to get out the house, y'all. But so it's so funny that you brought up Beyonce because I was going to bring that up, right? So everybody always says, but Jay-Z, he cheated, and I'm like, you know what? He did, right? And she stayed. But we have to. What
I'm sorry. See, before you go on, I need you guys to mute while she's talking, just so we don't have the. Okay, great. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, like I really hate the fact that like every time it comes to like an abusive relationship or just a toxic relationship in general, how it's always what the woman should have did. And you know, I just feel like that's something that, you know, we were conditioned to always do, like always place the blame on the woman. And there's not a lot of accountability for men. And the beautiful thing about Jay-Z and Beyonce is like, yes, he cheated. He has openly acknowledged, apologized. He has put in work for his family. He has tried to destigmatize therapy. And he talked about that several times. He's talked about how it affected his family. And he's taken accountability to put in work to ensure that like he did not hurt her in the way that he did. And I think that that's the difference. Like you can stay in a relationship with someone who's going to make mistakes, right? Like we're human. But it's just about like, what is your significant other going to do after he makes that mistake or after you make that mistake? Because it's not always on the men either. It's really about if you're going to maintain a relationship, then how are you growing as a union together after, you know, something toxic like that happens in your relationship? I think that that's the most important thing. Because I've been in like the relationship I'm in now, like he was never abusive, but it was definitely really toxic on both of our parts. But I would not have stayed with him if he had not committed to personal growth. Because with that personal growth comes with growth in a relationship.
Right.
So I feel like I always try not to like, you know, like you said, we want her to leave, but you're not mad that she didn't because we understand. I think it's more like we have to do a better job of holding the men in our life accountable for their relationships with women. And that starts with like, maybe not our father, but I can hold my father accountable because that's the type of relationship that we had. But like my brothers, I'm a hard ass on them because I know what it's like to be a woman and I know they don't understand what it feels like. So it's more so about just developing a relationship and understanding like there's going to be some trials and tribulations, but how are you going to move from there?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a 20-year, 30-year relationship and it's like you're constantly fucking up, but you're not doing anything to
progress,
like to reconcile or to make it right or to progress or to strengthen our relationship. Like I'm not a doormat. And I think that we have been conditioned to just be like, well, stay for some stability. Like we're not in need of the stability anymore. Like we can hold the things down ourselves. So what's the argument in staying now? There's no real argument as to why we would condition ourselves or, you know, just put ourselves in a situation that has to deal with that. And I'm only thinking about that because like I was the only girl. I only have 2 daughters now. And I thought that the way that men treated me was the norm because that's how my brothers were treating women. That's how my dad was treating my mom and his other 2 wives. So I felt like it was the norm. Right. It's a mess. It's a mess. And so that's why in my relationship, I tell him, you can mess up. Like cheating is not it. Like that's just my personal thing. Like I'm not dealing with the cheating. But anything else, like not anything. But I just have that's just the rule. Like if you fuck up, you have to acknowledge. And then you have to come with a plan. Like I'm acknowledging, I'm apologizing, and here's my changed behavior.
Right.
But I just hate the fact that it's always on the girl. Oh, she should have left. He should not have been hitting her in the first place. Like, can we address him?
Right.
Like, because let my daughter call me saying that the dude is hitting her. I'm not telling her to do anything. I'm finna run up on him, his mama, his daddy, whoever, because it's not going to stop with her.
Yeah.
If she leaves it's not going to stop with her.
Right.
So that's just what I'm thinking. And then I was mad triggered because the dude's name is John. And I was like, that's my boo's name. So I was real triggered.
Listen, as soon as they said it and you joined, I was like, oh God, she's probably like, John.
Listen,
Same thing.
but I just think that it's interesting that it's always on the female. Like I'm
always
like,
on the female. It always is on the female. Yeah. You gave some really good points.
Yes.
There has to be a commitment to changed behavior. But I think we as a society don't have a commitment to change behavior across the board for anything, right? Mm-hmm. So I think holding people accountable, which we have been doing, I love where women are at right now. Since 2020 beyond, it's been this progressive sense of self-love and I don't need you, because now I tapped into this wellness of feeling good all by myself, right? So you're an asset. It's just like, actually you're like a handbag, right? Like you make the whole outfit look nice, but you don't need to be here because I make the outfit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love it here because growing up, I didn't see it like that. And, you know, to be in certain relationships, like prior to how it is right now, would have been great to have that as the strike back instead of, oh, so now what do I do? Where do I go from here? Because he's not with me. And what do I do? You know what I mean? Like you feel like crippled because somebody decides to leave your life, but not anymore. Beyond financial independence, I think is mental independence. It's like no longer being imprisoned with this mentality of I need this person in order to be complete. And I think that's the holding guys accountable, because when you hold that up to them and you're like, boy, bye. Hey, what you thought this was? You going to, all right, go ahead, you know? And then what the thing is, what I would have loved, honestly, I'm not mad at Z. What I would have loved is if he came back and she was not there. She outside.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Wouldn't it be nice? They cut to Z. It's like, oh, shoot, what? John, fuck him. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see that. Like, even if she comes back, right? But like, let him know, like, listen, you not being here is really no problem. You're not going to come back and find me crying in the shower. Any feedback, guys? Talk to me. Where are we at with this? I want to get something from you guys. Talk to me.
I actually thought she was going to leave. I actually thought when she went and she started going through the drawers that she was going to take her stuff and go. I didn't expect her to be in the shower crying.
Right, throwing a tantrum.
Yeah. I thought that the conversation with her mom was going to be like her wake-up call, like, you know what, I deserve better than this. I'm going to take my stuff and I'm going to go. But when I saw her in the shower, I was like, well, but I also think that you have to get to that point.
Right.
For you to get to that point to leave, like, because when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in this situation one too many times.
Right.
But it's until you get to that point that you want to leave. Like you could have all the conversations with your friends, your mom, your grandma, whoever. But if you're not at that point, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you know deep down, like this shit is, excuse my French, is
fucked. That's okay.
But if you're not there, you're not going anywhere.
You're not. You're right. You have to be there.
Right.
Like that is so true.
Yeah.
Because I remember the morning I woke up, I was just there.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him plenty of chances. You know, I even talked about therapy and he'd be like, oh, you know, yeah, I'll go. And then when it came down to, oh, I don't have a problem. There's no problem. So that day I was just there. I remember that day like it was yesterday, even though it was 10 years ago. But I still remember that day. I just woke up and I was like, I'm leaving. When the lease is up, I'm leaving. I'm moving out with the girls and I'm going back to school. And that's exactly what I did.
Nice. There is a location. Yeah. If you look it up on the map, you'll see it there.
Yeah. Because as women, we give them so many chances.
Yeah.
Like 50, 11 chances. So when you get to 50 and 12, you're like, you know what?
Yes.
I'm out.
Yes.
I'm out.
But I love it being that you're out when you're there, because that actual location is when you can hold up the mirror to that person. So it doesn't matter whatever it is that they try to do. And that's for every situation, guys. relationships, meaning whoever you're romantically involved with, and friendships as well. Like, set the boundaries and get yourself to that point of there, so that you let people know this is where you had me fucked up at, and this is where you're getting cut off. Because I don't think, honestly, and this is where I'm gonna leave it. What I loved about the name of the short series is Toxic. I really want, if it's one thing that we emerge out of being locked down for a year, is this certain sense of, I'm not like, no tolerance for any bull from anybody. Why? Why do you have to take bull? You just went through a year of solitude where you learned how to fend for yourself on your own, right? And you took all of this adversity and you kept on flipping it. You survived it and you flipped it and flipped. It didn't matter what came from 2020. You're still here and you look great. You're doing great. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to look at that and say, I don't got to take shit from anybody, right? I loved it. I loved everything that we got to watch. Guys, my time's up. I wish we could just stay and talk all night and drink all night, but my time's up. I'm going to toast to that, though. Look at the size of this bottle. You see, guys, I came from Cheers to you guys for a wonderful web series and chill. I don't know if that's the name. I've had 8 of these, so forgive me. So I'm gonna cheers to you guys for actually making it a success, because I really enjoyed watching it with you and I love the conversation. So cheers, guys, and happy Sunday. And stay tuned for the next one. I think I might do something a little different though, not watching something, but I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.